One of the questions that we field a lot is, how will I feel after my mission trip? One of the most common feelings that you have when you get back is fulfillment and satisfaction. Hopefully, you've been able to put your hand to the plow and affect and support a long-term change in a local community, and that's a big deal. Many people also return back to the United States with this kind of post-trip high, where they're very motivated to continue doing some sort of a positive change, some sort of volunteer work, normally through their local church or some other local organization, but domestically, near where they live. Another super normal emotion that we tend to go over here a lot in Nicaragua during our debriefs is reverse culture shock. You kind of head back to the United States and you get this feeling of waste, and you end up, getting around people that have maybe just bought a Starbucks, and you have this emotional response where you just want to smack that Starbucks out of their hand and yell at them about how much good that money could have done somewhere else. Reverse culture shock. Of course, we would encourage you to not do that and just work through your feelings. It's very normal to start getting really reflective and really contemplative and really start analyzing your own core values and your own theology and how you're living and walking that out. Emotional exhaustion. And you've just been through something that is crazy. Like, you've been into some really deep depths of poverty, met some really under-resourced people. You've fallen in love with a whole nother culture. All of that takes its toll on you emotionally. And a lot of people haven't really put out that much emotion in such a short amount of time. It's really normal to get back to the United States and just feel completely drained emotionally and need to take some time away or find some self-care or maybe speak with your pastor or a therapist or something like that. Completely normal. Many people, even at the airport as we're saying goodbye, are telling us that they want to come back. They have a longing to return, and they want to continue to foster these relationships that they've established here in this week long, and they want to come back and see what the growth has been in this ministry that they're supporting. I think that's a fantastic emotion. I think that's definitely what we're looking for, because we want to create something that's sustainable, and we want to create something that's long-term, and people coming back year after year contributes to that. A lot of times during our debriefs, people refer to this heightened sense of gratitude for the life that they have inside of the U.S. So, what they see here is about 80% of how the rest of the world lives. So people kind of clicks in their mind that they're very blessed to have been born in the United States, and they start feeling really gracious just for that simple blessing. Our sincere hope is that during the course of a mission trip is that you will renew your faith, grow your faith. We always say that a mission trip is like a greenhouse for your spiritual walk. You can do a lot of growth very quickly. And with myself and with Megan and our staff here, you have an opportunity to talk about things that maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable talking about in your own church. Maybe you're questioning your own theology. Maybe you have some conflicts in your life and you just want to get that out. This is a fantastic place to do that. So many times people will leave the mission trip more mature than when they came. And we like that. It's very easy to walk away from a week-long mission trip overwhelmed by this sense of injustice that you've been experiencing for 5, 7, 10 days. It's important, and we really want to make sure that when you do one of our trips that you remember this, that you have contributed to a positive change that's sustainable and for the long term. So it's easy to leave a mission trip and think, man, I haven't done anything. I haven't really contributed anything. I didn't make any change. That's not true. That's not true, because Enrich Missions, at least with us, I can't speak for everybody, but Enrich Missions is making a positive change. And you've put your hand to that plow here, which means that you have been making a positive change. And you've helped us extend our ministry in Nicaragua. I want people who leave to remember that they have had a positive, long-term, sustainable change in a community that is now different because you came down. People will want to share their story, the story of the week that they spent out of the country doing ministry. And we always, at the end of our trip, talk a little bit about the 3330 method. And what that means is we want people to come up with a 30-second quip of whatever their mission trip was like. And that's mostly for people that they're passing in the street. Hey, how was your trip? Oh man, it was fantastic. We did so many great things. You spend 30 seconds talking about it, and then you move on and people don't want to hear anymore than that. Then you have a 3-minute version, people who do want to stop and talk about it for a couple of minutes and then continue on their way. Then you have a 30-minute version, people who want to sit down and really explore all the nuances of your entire trips. So we talk a little bit about that at our very last debrief, the 3330 method of sharing your story. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pastor Jacob is the one who shared that with us like over 10 years ago, maybe. Well, anyway, thank you, Pastor Jacob, because we have been teaching that for a very long time, 3330. So you can have a lot of different and conflicting feelings after a mission trip. And let me just tell you, that's okay. You know, emotions are like a swirling ocean. They're going to change. They're going to have some dark emotions, and you're going to have some really bright emotions. We are created as emotional beings, and it's okay to say, listen, I've got some crazy feelings about this thing that I just experienced, and I really need to be able to work my way through them. We encourage that. Just know that all of those emotions that you're having are completely normal and validated.